Hi, welcome to Alex Rocks. I'm Suzi Q and Dhol.
Hi, I'm Mark E. This is episode 12 of Alex Rocks. This week, we'll be talking to Jagger from The Kids and Jimmy Phoenix from A Whale Called Phoenix.
And I'll be talking to Penny Ikinger, who I like to call the one-woman Velvet Underground. She's worked with everyone from Dennis Tech in Radio Birdman and Tex Perkins. But right now, we're going to cross to Jagger from The Kids with Mark E.
I'm talking to Jagger from The Kids. Hey, Jagger, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Mark?
Very well, man. Thanks for coming on Alex Rocks. Great to hear you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Great to hear you've dropped the new single, Go Back to Canberra, just recently.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
We just did.
Very cool. Yeah, strange times, of course. We can't tour quite yet with everything. But so, yeah, how are you guys approaching, the new release? What's happening in the kids' world?
Well, if we're talking Corona, when the whole thing happened, like we just got off the Billy Idol tour. We're all pumped. We're on this roller coaster, man. It's going up. And then we have these huge things planned. And then Corona hits and everything's canceled. We can't even rehearse. And the roller coaster just goes straight down. We're like, oh, man. So instead of whining about it, we get together in a room. We're like, how are we going to approach this? And, we're getting to a point in our career where we've been a band for 5 odd years and we're not necessarily kids anymore. We're growing into, we're developing as human beings and we're developing as artists. And we want to sort of reinvent our image and our sound and just everything about us as we aren't really kids anymore. So what we did is that we just crammed ourselves into a tight rehearsal space and knocked out a 8-song filthy EP, the first song being Go Back to Canberra from it. Because, at the end of the day, we realized that we're nothing but just a filthy punk rock band. And that's all we want to pursue. We just want to cause as much mayhem as possible. And Go Back to Canberra is the spawn from that. All and right. We released it and it's great. It's a knockout evil tune, man.
Are you going back to Canberra?
Am I going back? I mean, listen, we are planning to do a Go Back to Canberra tour and documenting it and see what shit that causes. But, I don't even know if we will be welcome. So
next year is going to be an exciting year, as everyone gets back on board and bands pick up the pieces and tours, resume,
100%. We have a lot of big things planned for next year, touring wise, release wise, and just materialistic wise, man.
Yeah, very cool. So what's coming up in the immediate future? Do you think for you guys?
Well, we have this, as I said, we have this EP under wraps at the moment. We're next week we're going to record a music video, so that will be coming out early next year, which should be great. We plan to just push the hell out of this single number one and make as much noise as possible with this tune, as this is sort of like it's kind of like the line in the sand between our old discography and now our new discography that we're going to pursue. And we are wanting to release the full EP, our debut EP, at the end of next year, do heaps of touring around it. We plan to do some US tours, maybe some European tours that are under the wraps. So that stays between you and us. Me and you guys.
And let us know.
Yeah, for sure. And we just heaps of touring and just letting you guys know who the fuck the kids are.
So Jagger, also, you mentioned some solo work you've been writing. I know you've been, doing a lot of writing for the kids, of course. But you also mentioned some solo material you're keen to tell us about.
Yeah, well, as for the last 5 years, I have been, writing a shitload of punk songs, all of them which are angry and all of them which have deeper meanings and all this complex bullshit. But, I just, for the past 3 years, Without really to anyone's knowledge, I've been recording at my school's shitty recording studio, my very own album. Just demoing the whole thing. I'm playing every instrument. And by the way, to all of you, I don't know how to fucking play a guitar. I just turn that shit down the drop D, and then I just power chord everything. And I've written a whole album out of it. And I am going to record it properly, my first EP, in December. So you can keep on the lookout for that.
All right.
Hey, everybody, this is Jagger from the Kids. This is our new single, Go Back to Canberra. Dig this.
It ain't no secret, no denying, Canberra is a shithole. No time to look at kids looking fucked up while block away to get rolled. Chicks getting fucked up in a public bathroom, your dad never did a war zone. Bring back your attitude, fake busting out town stories, but we don't like you. Your shit little town doesn't look like mine, so grow with mine and go back to Canberra.
I'm talking to Jimmy Phoenix from a whale called Phoenix. How are you, Jim?
Good, mate. How are you?
Very well. Thanks for joining us on Alex Rocks.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So yeah, how's it been going with your band and your solo gigs?
Yeah. They're sort of been few and far between, but it's all happening again.
Yep.
So like with a whale called Phoenix, we released a single in March.
Yeah.
Just before lockdown.
Right in.
Which was recorded in St Kilda, a little bit in Luna Moss Flower Shop on St
Yeah.
Kilda Road.
Yes, which you'll see.
Yeah, that's
on
in
the
clip.
video.
And then down SB Basement, which captured this 3 months of beauty where Tim Rogers was running the SB Basement.
Yeah. What did Tim call the
Rogerstein Lounge.
the Rogerstein Lounge?
Yeah,
Yes.
so-
Tim Rogers behind the bar.
Yeah.
Booking the bands, running amok,
throwing
SB
peanuts.
Basement.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah, that just sort of that come about, sort of captured that vibe. We didn't get to tour or release, do a big launch or anything.
Yeah.
Because everything closed down after that, so it's just sort of sat idle.
Yeah,
Like
well-
it's out and about, but
That's you can get on board now with the
yeah.
well, it's a new release, isn't it? I mean, that's it.
It is.
It's
And
great, you got it.
perfect. It's called,
Yeah.
It's called Free Happy, and that's where we're at.
Free happy. Yeah, well, that's right. It's giving you the time to, get things in line, and I suppose going into 2021, having a new release,
Yep.
ready to
Yep.
roll. That's
Yeah.
good.
So yeah, we'll have more. So we just started recording again on Wednesday.
Great.
With Whale Called Phoenix,
Yep.
and then also got a new single out with another project called Gypsy Collector.
Yeah, cool.
That came out today.
All right, busy.
Yeah, have been busy, man.
No, that's great. That's what it's about, And so into 2000 and into 2021.
2021 January we'll continue with a Whale Called Phoenix album.
Yep.
We got 2 songs down the other day, so however many we want to go.
Yeah, nice.
I don't know where we'll cut it off. Probably when the money stops.
That's a good name for a song, or when the money stops.
Yeah. And then this other new thing, Gypsy Collector, we've got a new single we're mixing now.
Cool.
Like the second one, so first one come out today, called a Shooting Imagery, and that we shot the clip, when we had one hour of exercise with one person. So myself and Stacey met at St Kilda Beach, quickly took a couple of bits of footage and then
cool.
edit together. But yeah, so that will just be like a rolling recording project.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, and then a Whale Called Phoenix is more the band and
Okay.
their energy with all the guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with the bands, and of course, jumping in with the Rock Dogs for when that gets back on board.
Yep.
You're busy.
Yeah,
you
missing
want
the footy.
Yeah. A lot of people do. It's what's happening in that in that front. The Community Cup, the Reclink Community Cup.
Yeah, well, that just like everything that just got postponed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, stopped for this year.
Yeah.
And we'll start up again next year.
You're back on board.
Yep.
Yeah, very
Back.
cool.
Very happy. Filmed in St Kilda for everyone. Enjoy.
I got so high, I forgot myself. Living on St. Kilda Road. Do you forget me? I sang yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey, Penny, welcome to Alex Rocks.
Thanks, Susie. Good to see you.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
You've had such an extensive career and such wonderful people that you've worked with over time, but you started out pretty quickly. Your first album, Electra, it went to #2 in the Village Voice in New York and in Japan, Australia. It was a pretty steep curve that you must have gone up. How'd that go for you?
Well, that kind of surpassed my expectations.
Somewhat.
Yeah, that album came out on a label in America, Career Records.
Yeah.
And they had a connection with Dennis Tech,
Yeah.
who you
He's
would
from
know.
Radio Birdman.
Yep. But I'd had a long career before that album. Like, I'd been playing guitar in bands for many years.
Yeah.
And then after playing in band after band in Sydney and Melbourne, I decided that it was time to start singing and writing my own songs. So in a way, I was a bit of a late starter, but
Yeah.
I made up time.
You certainly did make up time because you know how to use your pedals. You're the queen of fuzz rock. And as I mentioned earlier, my one-woman Velvet Underground. I'd like to explore, you know, the influences that you have had.
Yep.
And maybe some of the more interesting ones that you might have experienced.
Okay. As a guitarist, I think I was more of an anti-guitar. I think I'm more of an anti-guitarist than a guitarist.
Yeah.
I've tried to keep my approach and my mindset with guitar playing quite pure. That's away from what other people are doing. And I think one of the major reasons for that is being female. Because when I first started playing guitar, I'd never even seen a woman play a guitar.
Right.
Because it wasn't the done thing then. So I was surrounded by bands with men playing guitar, and they played in a certain way,
Yeah.
which I tried to play with the same energy as the men, and the same rock and roll vibe,
Yeah.
but in a more feminine way. And that is something that I've been following my whole career, is redefining how you play guitar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still play dirty rock and roll and be a lady at the same time.
Yeah, and it's an approach to sound, and it's approach to, I think men, and that's, I'm not saying anything disrespectful.
Never.
I hope. But I think they like to use lots of notes and things like play fast, and, you know, that's a guy thing. Like you run fast, or you've got the club and you beat the, you know, bison. And I've just tried to see it from a different way.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I've always liked about your music is you know how to use space as well.
Okay.
Because, you know, and as you were saying, anyone, like, we're not going to, you know, label men as playing too fast or too much.
No.
But anyone can play a note, but it's knowing where to put the spaces in.
Yeah,
and I
that's
think that
interesting.
you've done that very, very well through your whole career.
Okay.
So let's go back to what I was just trying to touch on before.
Yeah, which I can't remember even what that was now. Yeah.
Is so let's not say the best or the worst, but what was the most interesting collaboration you ever have?
Oh, interesting. Well, I did my last album, Tokyo.
Yep.
I recorded it in Tokyo with Japanese musicians.
Yep.
There's a great rock scene happening in Tokyo.
Yeah.
We don't get to hear it or see it here. Sometimes you get the bands coming over, but compared to what I've seen over there, it's really full and rich, and they love rock and roll, and they're really good at it.
Yeah.
So the last album I recorded in Tokyo with Japanese psychedelic rock musicians, and that was an amazing experience. And the songs, before I went to Tokyo, I wrote the songs with Dennis Tech, who we talked about before, who played guitar on Radio Birdman. Dennis is known as a guitarist for very good reason, but he's also a remarkable songwriter. And those early Radio Birdman albums that we all know and love, most of those songs, if not all, were written by Dennis.
Yeah.
The lyrics and the
he's certainly
music.
been a huge influence on the Australian music scene.
Yeah.
Big respect to him.
Yeah. So that was a great project to be involved in.
And you were very lucky to be involved with him from an early age.
Well, Dennis, I got to know when I put out my first album, Electra, which is the album we talked about before. I started playing, I grew up in Melbourne, but I started playing music in Sydney.
Yeah.
And the Sydney rock sound was very much influenced by Radio Birdman.
Indeed.
And it's still is today. Whereas the Melbourne rock music had a different sound, a bit more arty or whatever you want.
Well, yeah, we've touched on that in previous episodes, the art rock scene. So we had like the birthday party and things like that going on down here, and we had,
Yeah.
you know, Saints Over and up north we had, you know, Radio Birdman. Well, Penny Ikinger, thank you so much for coming on Alex Rocks.
I'm living with a girl named Suzi. She really blows my mind. Every second Tuesday, she gets dragged along behind into the slipstream, into the slipstream, into the slipstream, into the slipstream. Have you met my friend Suzi? She's always on a high. Every second Tuesday, she jumps on for a ride into the slipstream, into the slipstream, into the slipstream, into the slipstream.
The restrictions, how, well, you know, we've gone from absolutely nothing and now we're reopening. It's a little bit scary. It's going to be hard for us to come out, isn't it? Because some of the venues, they haven't had been able to open for 8 months, 7 months. I can't remember how many months now.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shocking time for venues. I mean, artists, of course, you know, as well. But yeah, if you're really counting on that income. But
Can I ask you a question, Mark, about entry fees to venues, small venues, that, you know, the venues that I've been working with a lot and you've spent a lot of time in. A lot of these are free gigs, aren't they?
I thought that venues were actually having to charge for the first time.
Well, and what do you think about that?
Well,
though?
I think if it means that that's the only way they can open, then that's the way it's got to be.
But
you know, and
don't you think that we should be monetarising music and putting more value on it?
isn't that what they're doing though? They're charging to
Yeah.
go and see whoever's on.
Yeah.
It's either that or they don't have music. That's just the way it has to be, I think, at the moment. If you're a venue, if you're a small venue or any size venue, and you're limited to the amount of people, whether it's a DJ or a band or whatever, or, you know, a solo artist, if you're only allowed, 20 people in
Yeah.
your venue, I mean,
The days of free music is over.
you've got to charge something to, of course, because you're only making a tenth of your usual turnover, aren't
Yeah.
you? So you've got to charge to pay the musicians because it's not coming from the booze or the food.
No.
That'll just cover overheads. I
Yeah,
guess,
so we really do need to start, charging for anyone.
I think until you
or
can
open
fill
mic nights,
Yeah, until they can fill venues again properly,
Yeah.
and then the venues can rely on the bar take and things like that usually in the past. I mean, if it's a free entry gig, then that's usually how it works. Of course, a lot of gigs aren't. Most pub gigs in Melbourne, I know, and Sydney, and well, everywhere around Australia, most of the time you pay to get in the door, don't you? And then that's how the venue pays the artist. But I think at the moment where they're limited to a quarter or less than their usual patronage, I think. What do they do? Close?
Yeah.
Or just don't have
Don't
music?
have live music.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know? So it's got to be a win-win. Everyone's, I guess, got to make this work, and it is a slow burn. Let's hope in a few months' time,
Yeah.
you know, it will all be open fully
When
again.
we talk about charging for larger, to go and see a band, we're talking about larger, bigger events. So I'm sort of bringing back a little bit back to the smaller bars who support and incubate the bands that are up and coming.
Sure.
And having to charge to get into them. My personal opinion is every event should be charged, even if it's a nominal value of $5. Every event should now be a charged event.
Sure.
But I'm a promoter. He is a musician.
Well, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying, yes, I think that's the only way venues can operate. I totally agree.
Hi, Olga.
Hey, Olga.
Hey guys, how are you?
Great.
Yeah, still standing.
You're looking very tropical. Where are you?
Well, I went to a party and me and Social Cat woke up on the beach.
All right.
Are you guys all right?
We've got a scorcher for you next week, guys. We've got Smoking Martha, City Sharps, and a lot more. Alex rocks.
All right.
Rock on, sister.
See you next week.
See ya.
So it looks like things are going to be heating up over the summer.
Nice and hot. Yes, looking forward to it. That's it for this week on Alex Rocks. Please subscribe.
And it's good night from...